Here's the newest way you can play Xbox. Is the Activision Blizzard deal in trouble yet again? Let's discuss. What's up, guys, and welcome to the weekend edition of Xbox Ready, where I team up with Mr. Jimmy Champagne over here, who runs the sister channel to this, PS Ready. And today we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest news going on in the world of Xbox. We're going to be discussing Xbox's latest collaboration, which may surprise you, a new way to play Xbox, the latest challenge to the Activision Blizzard acquisition, and we're going to get Jimmy's thoughts as someone who runs a horror channel on what games you should be playing to get ready for spooky season, for the Halloween season, to get in the mood. Jimmy, how's it going, man? You're 2 weeks out from getting married, almost. A lot going on.
There's a lot of Halloween news that happened this week, so I made 3 Halloween videos for any horror people out there.
Dang, okay.
Getting ready for the wedding, getting the house ready, everything is busy right now.
So yeah, if you want to check out horror content, Halloween content, go on over to the Eponymous YouTube channel, Jimmy Champagne, if you want to check that out. Get yourself in the mood.
This is a good one. This is a good word.
But hey, let's get right into it. So I love to talk to you about this stuff because this first story we're going to talk about has to do with cloud gaming. Cloud gaming. We know how much you love that cloud gaming.
Boo.
And it seems like Xbox has kind of been like back and forth on cloud gaming. They don't seem as gung-ho on it as they once were at the start of this generation, or even like a year ago. I don't know if that has anything to do with the CMA over the United Kingdom saying like they're blocking the Activision Blizzard deal because of cloud gaming concerns. The latest news on that front is that Xbox Cloud Gaming is going to get support on MetaQuest VR headsets starting in December, or as soon as December.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I'm kind of surprised there's no way to do it. Me and Ray both did videos with these Vitcher glasses.
Yes.
And it was sponsored, so like take what we have to say with a grain of salt. But I've tried PlayStation Remote Play on like a bunch of different devices, like an iPad, my computer, my phone, and the only one it worked on like perfectly was those glasses little like neckband thing. Like their app that they included worked great.
They were just glasses. It wasn't a full headset that projected like a 2D screen in front of you that you could play games on. And I showed how you can do it with Xbox Cloud Gaming. Jimmy did it for like PS Remote Play. And so that's pretty much what it's going to be like on the MetaQuest, on their VR headsets. It's not going to be like a full VR experience, so you won't be able to jump into Starfield and experience it in like 360-degree VR. Yeah. It's going to be a TV screen in front of you. Like, it is pretty cool when it works, those things, like watching movies on it. It's like a little like virtual theater room that you can project movies and games to. Using that, you'll be able to stream games like Starfield, like Halo, like any game on the Game Pass Ultimate library, you'll be able to play that way.
Yeah, that sounds cool. And like you could probably transfer your saves, right? Because your saves on your Xbox go to the cloud, and if you're on the cloud gaming, it'll work fine, right?
Yeah. So what's interesting to me about this is that I don't know how many people are actually going to use this feature. I don't know like what the crossover is between people who own Quest headset and people who subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate. What do you think the use of is? Like, it's cool that we're getting support.
I feel like it's just so they can, if they keep getting sued, right, by these governments, they can say like, look, we have Xbox games available on everything. They're on Samsung TVs, they're on, your fridge, they're on this VR headset, they're on your phone. There's nowhere you can't play Xbox except PlayStation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point, because more and more we're starting to see Xbox and Microsoft trying to creep Game Pass and cloud gaming. It's slow, but we're seeing it come to different devices. It's been probably slower than they may have wanted to. Yeah, so we're starting to see cloud gaming roll out to the Vitcher glasses, VR headsets, Samsung TVs. I know they're trying to roll it out to more models. I wonder like if it will significantly move the needle if they were able to get it out to like every device, like every smart device, and if that would be beneficial to the Xbox game. Like, would it be significant to them or helpful to them at all as a gaming division?
I think their goal is to make sure that if people decide they want to cloud stream on anything, there's at least an app there ready that works, so they don't have to like rush to bring something to that market. They just want to make sure that the cloud stuff is all ready to go anywhere it needs to be.
Yeah, there's more work that needs to be done on their part to make cloud gaming a thing, to really make it catch on and have people excited about it, because it's such an up and down experience of, oh, sometimes it's working great and sometimes it really doesn't. And for some people, it doesn't work great ever. So, and they really got to like shore up the cloud gaming experience and then roll it out to all these things to, I think, really mean anything to fans.
Yeah.
Does Xbox really even care about cloud gaming anymore? I know that's kind of a bold claim to make, but we know that they're selling their streaming rights for Activision Blizzard stuff to Ubisoft. So
yeah, right, in Europe.
We'll kind of see where the future of cloud gaming goes. It's like kind of like a divisive subject, I feel, in the Xbox community. But either way, you'll be able to stream games to your Quest if y'all have a MetaQuest headset. Exciting? Yes? No? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of Activision Blizzard streaming rights, getting this deal over the finish line, it seems like, you know, this deal is inevitable, right? Like it's going to close. Like the deadline is October 18th, I believe, where they can finally merge the two companies. And
finally,
after they got preliminary approval over in the United Kingdom, this seems like a dumb deal. Or is it a done deal? Because the FTC, as we all know, you know, they challenged Microsoft on this deal, and it was a big thing, and eventually they lost their case for a preliminary injunction. And I thought that was the end of it, right? Like they were done, this deal was gonna go forward.
Right.
But that's not the case. The FTC is back, and they're organizing a new case against Microsoft, this time with an internal FTC judge.
I don't like it. I don't know. It feels like so personal for them now. They're just like, just holding it up, even though they know they're going to lose. I think Microsoft is like positive this is going through though, because I saw that like the servers for Call of Duty Black Ops are like up on the Xbox server store thing. Like you can buy the 360 versions. And then the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake has been an Epic Store exclusive for years since it came out. I think it came out in like 2020, and now it's suddenly coming to Steam this week. So there's definitely some movement going on at Activision where Xbox is saying, hey, get these games out on other platforms. Let's go. Get it going.
Yeah, there's definitely some movement, and by the time that this case comes around with this new internal FTC judge, this new hearing, there are a couple things to take into consideration. Already, Microsoft will have probably merged with Activision Blizzard, so not only is the FTC gonna have to like, they can't prevent it anymore, basically. They're gonna have to
so like what is the goal? What can they get?
A lot of what we're seeing at like these media write-ups, these articles and stuff, is that a full reversal of this case and like untangling the business assets of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, there's like very, very little chance. And especially because like if their initial arguments for that first court hearing, that first preliminary injunction didn't fly, like unless there is something crazy that they have uncovered when it comes to this deal, I don't think it's gonna really matter in the long run.
Yeah, it just feels like wasting everyone's time and money, which like that's all they've been doing this entire time. It's so annoying now. I wish it would just end already. It's getting ridiculous. And like all the stuff with Sony that's happening, I feel like it's at least in part because of this. Like Jim Ryan was saying like, man, like I've spent my time over the past few years, like spending 2 weeks in America, a week in Japan, and then a week at home in Europe. And I'm just getting sick of it. A lot of that American time he's been spending, I feel like was to deal with this, you know? So it's just like, I want it over. I want to get back to normal.
You know, it was pretty quiet on this front, news-wise, for a while. You know, Starfield launched, and everyone was kind of talking about that. I'm grateful for it. And then we got news that it was approved in the UK or whatever, and then we kind of got caught up in this cycle again.
Do you remember when we were like, wow, this is going to happen all the way in June? That's so crazy. June 2023.
Yeah, June 2023.
That's so far away. And now we're in October of 2023. It's like, what the heck happened? Yeah,
I think fans are ready to move on from this. Activision did respond with like something kind of snarky, something a little bit like prickly.
Was it that lady?
Yeah, I think it was that. We're focused on working with Microsoft toward closing. How the FTC uses limited taxpayer dollars is its decision.
That's how I feel. I'm like, why are you wasting money at this point? Like, it's such a joke.
They made a good run at it. They presented their case.
This
you
is
know,
PlayStation better.
yeah, Xbox or not, mergers of this size or any mergers or acquisition should be scrutinized.
You gotta scrutinize them. Yeah.
You gotta investigate it. You gotta scrutinize it. That I'm not
You gotta say,
complaining
what's
about.
going on here?
But
Are you sure this is okay?
yeah, after that's done, we move on, right? We already
Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten their answer. I don't know what the FTC is going to gain out of this. At this point, I don't know, because it's just such a long shot. Unless they come out and with bombshell emails or correspondence, approving collusion or something crazy, or an undercover drug front for something like that. I think this is a done deal. Here's something that I feel like you will like, because you were the one that kind of introduced me when I got to PC gaming, how crappy it is to find out a game is Epic Store exclusive or launcher exclusive. So Phil Spencer, in a recent interview, actually at Tokyo Game Show, was asked hey, is there ever going to be a situation when a game comes out and it's exclusive to Xbox Game Pass? You can't play it anywhere else. It's only on Xbox Game Pass. And he said no. He said no, basically, in no real terms. He says the real success of Xbox is that more people play on Xbox, whether it's on an Xbox console, whether it's on PC, in the cloud, or another console. Do you think there's really any benefit to Xbox Game Pass exclusive games?
Not really, other than just annoying people. I think he understands how irritating it is to have a game be exclusive to the Epic Store. It's a little different with Xbox because at least then you're getting the cloud saves that work with your Xbox and your PC. You can log into your gamer tag. You can get achievements that go back and forth. You can play with your Xbox friends. There are reasons for games to be on the Xbox Store. Epic is just annoying, right? They throw their money around, they cause lawsuits, they buy a bunch of studios and shut them down, which is super annoying. They bought the people who made Fall Guys and they just laid them all off today. So they just basically just bought the Fall Guys IP. They are laying off employees while they're increasing the price of Fortnite V-Bucks, and their store sucks. On top of all of this, it's it uses so many resources when it's open. It force auto opens. I've had to tell it not to open when I turn on my PC multiple times. The separate friends list. It's just the list of negatives with that store is infinite, and the list of positives is sometimes you get decent free games there, right? And that's pretty much it. People don't really tolerate Steam. People like Steam, and I feel like that's what's causing this issue in the industry. People are Steam has this monopoly. It's because Steam's good. At the end of the day, it's a good product. Epic Game Store didn't have cloud saves for 5 years. So if you deleted a game and then got a new computer, if you didn't back up that save, you were done. So I really hope Dead Island 2 had cloud saves, because I remember it didn't at launch. And I would like to move that save file to Steam when it comes out on Steam. Then my friends will be playing it again.
It'll be interesting to see, if Xbox ever gets out of the hardware game, they just go third-party publisher mode. That's something that pisses off you guys so much whenever I talk about it.
Did you see Digital Foundry was saying that Sony's basically holding Xbox back? They're the Xbox is on paper much more powerful than the PlayStation 5, but developers are just kind of ignoring that and getting things on par-ish with the PS5. That's kind of crazy. Xbox has come to the table with this great hardware, and developers are we'll stop at PS5 standard.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they ever go third-party publisher mode and go just trying to get Game Pass on different devices, even PlayStations and stuff like that. Speaking of games, and there's just too many games, man. I'm seeing this article on Pure Xbox that is talking about Banisher's Ghost of New Eden and then Alone in the Dark, pushing back the release dates out of 2023 into 2024 because it's just so stacked. There's so many games right now. I'm still working my way through Baldur's Gate 3. I'm 80 hours in. I'm one of those dudes who try to do as much as I can in an RPG, as many side quests and things like that. Lies of P, playing that. Mortal Kombat 1, playing that. Still working my way through Starfield. Freaking, I just got the review code for Forza Motorsport, so I'm playing that too. Even on the PlayStation side, it's Spider-Man comes out in a couple weeks. Dude.
Yeah.
I cannot keep up. And I was playing Party Animals 2 yesterday as well. What are you playing right now?
Resident Evil 5.
Nice.
I'm halfway through that. No, Liza P, I've been playing a lot of. Mortal Kombat 1. That is awesome. I finally started the story there. I'm really excited for Alan Wake 2. Yeah, Forza Motorsport I'll probably give a shot on PC when that comes out. Oh, Lords of the Fallen also looks really cool. It looks like 80s metal vibes of a Dark Souls style game. So I want to beat Lies of P before that comes out.
I'm liking Lies of P so far. It's like, I like the vibe, and the mechanics
I like
are solid.
the hunters
And
with the animal masks.
yes, and it's like, oh my gosh, a game with like no bugs, like perfect performance almost.
Crazy.
Like,
It runs great on the Steam Deck too.
launch.
That's where I've been bouncing back and forth. Like I have my computer plugged into my TV and I'm like, oh, my save transfers, this is so cool, and it runs great. It's awesome.
It's great. So yeah, big shout out to the team behind Lies of P because I'm really enjoying it. I went full like strength build, so I just carry around
cool.
like huge
Yeah, that's what I did.
swords, and then like I pull people in with my arm, and then I slash them up. I'm still trying to. The parry is kind of tricky. I will say that because like everyone's movements are so
interesting.
jerky.
But they did just patch the game where they made it way easier, like everything. They like nerfed a ton of bosses, they nerfed a ton of enemies, they increased damage with weapons, they decreased like enemy HP, and they increased the parry window. So maybe that'll help you. That patch just came out.
There we go. I like getting the parry down in these games. But speaking of too many games, since this is the first upload of the spooky season, Halloween season, October, and I have Mr. Jimmy Champagne here, horror YouTuber extraordinaire. What are some games, Jim, that people can play on their Xboxes to get into that Halloween spirit?
The number one Xbox game to play for Halloween, Evil Within 2. It got like an extra patch for the Xbox, which is cool. There's a first person mode, which is kind of fun, but it's better in third person. Evil Within 2 is like, it's an open world survival horror game. Like it has a hub that's like a small town, like a small American town, and you go to the different levels within this town. But like the survival horror mix of open world with that is awesome. It's like an open area and you're like crawling through this like little suburban town, like going into houses, you can stealth kill guys. And as you get farther and farther into the game, because it takes place in the main character's mind and everyone's minds are connected, the town like falls apart, and as you beat bosses, they'll just become roaming enemies in this little town. It's such a good game, and like no one played it. I think it's like $10 now, but it's also on Game Pass. I recommend that a lot. Resident Evil 4 just got its Separate Ways DLC, and in the original Resident Evil 4, Separate Ways was like this thing that they threw together to make the PS2 version seem like a worthy pickup if you already had it on GameCube. In this, it's like a full campaign. It's like 6 hours. It's as long as the Resident Evil 3 remake, and they gave Ada like her own combat abilities. She has like a grappling hook, and she's like a lot more mobile than Leon, and the story just intersects so perfectly. I can't recommend that enough. Resident Evil Village, if you've never played that game is constantly on sale on Xbox. I think right now it's on sale for like $28. It's the gold edition, so you get the third person version of that game where you can play it in third person instead of first person. Resident Evil 7, that's on Game Pass, I'm pretty sure.
Any
Resident Evil game. Amnesia the Bunker. The Amnesia games back in the day were like PewDiePie bait, or like, Markiplier bait, where it's like, oh, you have no weapons and there's an invisible monster. Oh, like crazy face on
Markiplier
YouTube. But now the new one introduced combat, and it actually works really well. You can also play Alan Wake 2 October 27th. But before that, you should definitely play Control. I think the Ultimate Edition was on Game Pass, but if it's not, it's like $20.
And then what game? I'm trying to remember. It's like everyone goes to the camp, and it's kind of like As Dusk Falls, where you kind of pick your adventure.
Oh, The Quarry.
The Quarry.
That was so good.
The Quarry.
That was good.
Quarry. Is that on the list of recommended Halloween spooky games?
Yeah, that was like my second favorite game last year, I'm pretty sure. And their other one, House of Ashes, that Dark Pictures game, that one is like miles better than all the other ones. Nice. And it has Ashley Tisdale in it from High School Musical.
From High School Musical and Zack and Cody?
Yeah, she's like the main character.
Well, there we have it. You got games to get ready for October. You have the latest Xbox news. Like, I feel like some exciting things happen in the month of September, and launching of Starfield, the Xbox leak, and we have a lot to look forward to in October as well. So make sure you stay tuned for all the coverage regarding that. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you get notified whenever we post a video. And shout out to Jimmy Champagne for joining us for another weekend edition, and we'll see you next time.